Yo, yo, yo! Welcome back to the MMA Short Show. As always, your boy, Steven Moustaris. Hey, guys, regardless of what you thought Saturday night, regardless of who you thought won, regardless of what you think, man, at least for me, hats off to both ladies. Alexa Grasso, Valentina Shevchenko. I've been pretty open about how they're two of my favorite women's fighters, let alone this fighter in general. They're two of my favorites, and I always get so damn nervous watching both of these ladies fight. But, man, that was one of the best fights I've seen in a while, especially women's, a title fight. First ones that comes to mind, clearly the Thug Rose, Carlos Esparza 2 fight. Jokes. But no, for real, the Joanna versus Zhang Weili fight, clearly number one for me. It's just the first one, at least. It was such a crazy back and forth fight. The pace was way higher than what we just saw this past weekend. But, I mean, that might be, number 2 of the greatest title fights I've seen in women's MMA? Like, I'm not trying to forget any, but for back and forth, like, barn burner 5-round fight, like, that's one of the ones that stick out to me. Like maybe one of my favorite ones, not necessarily saying Miesha Tate's one of my favorite fighters, but it was such an heroic, like, Hail Mary effort in UFC 200 when she get her ass kicked for, 4.5 rounds and pulls off one of the craziest rear naked chokes of Holly Holm ever. Like, that one was up there too, but like for back and forth, Valentina and Alexa Grasso came and showed that women's MMA is up there with the men's. Like, they are competing, man. They are really evolving. They are coming out and they are throwing on some performances. This isn't 2014. This isn't 2016 anymore. This isn't 2018 anymore. Women's MMA, like, this is new day MMA. Like, these girls are coming. These girls are phenomenal. We're starting to see all these people come up, and that's what makes this fight so difficult, man. It's just, I feel like the UFC right now has women's MMA, especially now that Amanda Nunes is moving on, Joanna moved on, Chris Cyborg's not necessarily there anymore. We're way past the Ronda Rousey thing. Holly Holm's looking like she's about to be out of there. With Valentina looking a little older. We're finally moving on to that next, like, stage of MMA, like our next generation of MMA. Like, you got the Aaron Blanchfields out there, the Manny Fioros, the Mackenzie Derns. We got all these damn things coming out here, and I can go on for days with the women's MMA, but I'm saying at least for the these top at 125, and that's what makes this difficult, man. Is one, I feel like Valentina absolutely got robbed when it comes to that 10-8 scorecard in the 5th round. Like, come on now, that was definitely felt like I feel like Valentina's right, like. I don't say it's the UFC standpoint, but if you're one of the judges in the house for Noche UFC, like a pretty much Mexican Independence Day, like, and you got the Mexican champion up there, and it's such a close fight, like, I feel like it was a little show. It was a little Canelo. There's something about the Mexican judges, man. On Mexican fight nights, dude. We see it with Canelo all the time, getting them decisions that we're like, what? So. You're not shocked, but yeah, I feel like she definitely got robbed. But with that being said, man, I've always said this. I've always been an advocate for this. If it's that close of a fight, I feel like the champion should always keep the belt. It's got to be definitive, man. Like, did you really beat Alexa Grasso that night? Like, I get it. Like, you might have won on points and stuff, but, like, you can even say it for Alexa. Like, Alexa Grasso, did you really beat Valentina that night? Like, that's why I just feel like it should be, maybe, I like more draws as well, too. Actually, I was kind of impressed with that, and I wasn't too mad at it. But when we're talking on points, Valentina should have won that, if we're being fair. The 10-8, crazy. Nobody should have a 10-8. But the one thing, man, that's got me thinking here now, too, is, like, I feel like, man, when we think of our favorite sports and our favorite, like, history moment, like our moments in sports history, like when it comes to the NBA, NFL, the Major League Baseball, all these different ones, NHL, every big sport you can think of, golf, all these things, man. When it comes to the championship, when it comes to the playoff round, when it comes to any of these things, playoffs, championships, tournaments, anything, like, there's no tie. There's no draw, man. And I feel like that would be something where I feel like I might agree with more like a GSP standpoint, what he's been saying for years and years in the early Pride days and the early UFC days, where, if it's not unlimited amount of time, like a no time limit round, that just fight to exhaustion, fight till a finish, fight till a submission, like, type thing, maybe then do like a 25-minute untime, like no break time period, and maybe do like a 15-minute time period, like where it's just nonstop, no breaking it up. And I feel like then we'll see who's the true winner, just to keep the judges out of it, I guess, on a championship night where there is no draw. Or if we do come out with the scorecards and it is a draw, like maybe do more of like the good old fight, the Ultimate Fighter, where they do the 2 rounds, and if they do it, they need a sudden death round. Like, why wouldn't you do that? You got them in the building. So I feel like if you're going to be that big of a sport and they're growing as fast as we know they are, I would like to look at something a little more like that. But you can't. I get so mad when we're sitting here kind of talking shit, like when his fans talk shit to one of the fighters for believing they won a fight where maybe you didn't think they won, or maybe it was a draw. And it just frustrates me, because it's like, man, you were in such a close fight. You're a champion. You're in a championship fight. Like, you're not going to sit there and say you lost the fight. Like, and you're not the judge. Like, why would we be mad at Alexa Grasso for being happy that she still got the belt? Like when DC kind of roasted her in the ring there and said, but it's a draw. And it's like, why can you be mad at Valentina for saying she got robbed and the scorecards were off and stuff? Because she totally has a right to feel that way. We might have all felt that way. So I definitely don't want to break them down at all. And that's why I'm actually like really giving out, like put my hat off and everything for these girls. Like, absolutely phenomenal, man. One of the best championship fights I've seen. And it sucks that the judges kind of got in the way and all this stuff. But regardless, I feel like it all works out. Alexa should keep the belt. And like I'm saying, man, I think this is where the UFC goes, hey, we got a really good product here with women's MMA, and we have a chance to really move on and not have such a dominant, like Amanda Nunes, Valentina, Rose Namajunas running it, or Zhang Weili running it, or a Joanna running it. Now we have new ladies kind of coming in. We got some really, really talented ladies. So, like, this could be a chance where you put Erin Blanchfield in to fight Alexa Grasso. This could be a huge chance to build up Alexa Grasso now that she's the face of Mexican fighting. This would be a huge chance to build. Like, they're already talking. They got that Mexican PI. They got all these things down there. The UFC PI. They got all these things down there, man, that they could really be doing. And they're really trying to grow Mexican MMA. Like, the fans bring it. Some of the best boxers in the world were Mexican. Like, this is a perfect chance to get her going. You don't want her to fall into the Brandon Moreno thing where you should learn from that. You know what I'm saying? Where he had, his wins over Divas and Figueiredo, that trilogy might have hurt him in the long run because he just got so dialed in with that one person. And now we can only sit there and say, well, how many times did he win? Oh, he beat Divas and Figueiredo. Oh, who else? Divas and Figueiredo. Oh, Divas and Figueiredo. And then, oh, yeah, Kai Kara France. But then he lost Alexander Pantoja. So it's like, if he could have had a couple more wins in there and like different names, and it just builds you different for your future. So that's one thing I think for Alexa Grasso. Why would we put her in there against Valentina again? Like, I think this would be a good chance to throw her up against Erin Blanchfield, really show her how to do it. Maybe throw her up in there against Mana Fiora because I think she would really win that fight. I'm just saying, I think this is a chance for them to really kind of move on. And I feel the same way with the whole Izzy Strickland thing. Like, not necessarily every time these ladies or these men deserve a rematch. Like, I don't know. It's tough. With this draw, it really hurts. And even if Valentina would have won off the points, then you have to have the trilogy. So I totally get it. And I love both ladies. They're two of my favorite fighters easily. So I'm here for it. But I just think this is a huge chance here for the UFC to go, hey, we made that custom belt for her. She was nasty. She won. She didn't fall apart like we just watched with Yair Rodriguez and Brandon Moreno and these title fights. Like, hey, she's our champion. She lasted it all in Noche UFC. So I don't know, hats off to both of them, though. And I think this is the time, man. But I would really like to see us, and when I say us, it's clearly not me, but I'm saying I'd like to see whoever's in charge really try to maybe work towards adding a rule. Clearly, you don't want this to be every fight where it's fight to the death or fight to the finish, fight to the exhaustion, whatever it would be with no time limit where there's no judges. You can't have that in every fight. But a title fight, this is what these people work up to, man. This is when you do actually go in there and go, hey, we're in sparring and stuff, we look to not get in the head, but in a championship fight, this is where we fight till we die. Like this is where our goals finally come. This is where our dreams come to. This is where everything comes to fruition. Like, we're here. This is the moment. Like, we are gonna die in this moment if we need to get this belt. So like, why not have it? Like, I know it sounds barbaric, but why not? It's way better than having a tie in a major sport where all these people are paying money to see a winner and for people to go nuts and actually get the hometown hero to win. Like, I know it feels like a win. She keeps the belt, but regardless, absolutely phenomenal fight. Can't blame either lady. So I'm excited to see what's going on, man. This is awesome for women's MMA. I'm telling you guys right now, this is huge. So, it's always your boy, Steven Moustaris, and let's go, baby.